And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
That is the extent of the clip to which left-wing activists such as right-wing Cope have been sharing about on Twitter for the past 12 hours or so, well more than that by the time this video comes out, saying Elon Musk just sieg-heiled on stage, what the actual F. Hello everyone, welcome to another day in this clown decade, the decade where things are only going to get worse before they get better. And unfortunately to some people, clearly we are still back in the previous decade, where obvious lies like this are seen as an easy way to get Twitter likes and retweets and make you feel dead popular, but at the end of the day, it's just lies. And we'll get into that eventually, but first, let's see the left-wing meltdown over this. Obviously, because this was being spread all over Twitter, the idiot leftist React streamers were all over this as well. Here's Hassan P giving his absolutely excellent and quintessentially intelligent left-wing take on this.
And I just want to say thank
you. Anyway, let's look at one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration.
My heart goes out to you.
Did he just sig heil?
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization...
Yeah, you'll have heard how this is a complete lie within that clip, but I'm not going to address that yet. We can just laugh at Sam Piker doing his ultimate soyjack face, and if any of you boys in the chat or comment section can turn that into a soyjack for me, I would be forever grateful. But yes, this is going to be the common theme today. The theme of absolutely no charitable interpretations are going to be allowed today. Absolutely nothing to do with the fact the only reason this looks even remotely like a Nazi salute is because he spreads out his arm the way he does. No, what Roman salute starts with trying to grab your heart and throw it out, even before the line which he said in that clip that Hassan spoke over that I'm going to address later. Even before that, I could tell that he was throwing his heart out and not giving a Roman salute. But leftists have absolutely no idea what a charitable take is, and so as I say, this is just the common theme of the video. You know, the next person was some cartoonist, Smooth Dunk. Here he is apparently showing you that the slow slide into fascism starts off with some autistic billionaire throwing up what look like Roman salutes to people, when no one is saying that this is, oh, it's a Roman salute. It's not a Roman salute. The only people saying that are idiots. Apparently next Musk is going to grow a Hitler moustache, then you're going to have a load of people throwing Roman salutes, which just isn't happening, and then finally you have the Holocaust. This is definitely how Nazi Germany worked. You know, Hitler just started throwing Roman salutes, all of a sudden grew a moustache, and then we had concentration camps. This is totally a serious political movement, people. Anyway, more over to the UK now, and obviously all the accounts you expect to be spreading this lie are spreading it. Politics for You, which is generally the left-wing version of the What's Going On in Politics Twitter gimmick account for the UK, says it's classic dog whistle, isn't it? Do a Nazi salute, but do it slightly weird so you can pretend you didn't just do a Nazi salute. No, once again, as I say, he is clearly grabbing his heart, I've managed to get the still here, and throwing it out to the people who voted Donald Trump and by extension the whole of the Trump team, including Musk, in. He's very happy, he's hyped up, he's a bit aspy, it's great, it's fine. Believe it or not, he's not really thinking about, does this look like I'm doing a Nazi thing, because normal people don't really think that in day-to-day terms, because it's something that happened, God, almost a century ago at this point. Unironically, we're practically at a point where not being a Nazi is so ingrained in everyone's mind that we don't even have to think about whether we are a Nazi or not. It's one of those things that, again, there's a supply and demand issue, as Douglas Murray always says. They can't find Nazis pretty much anywhere. I mean, obviously we have some issues with them, with, you know, certain small fringe groups that are actually Nazis, but they're very, very open about it. You really don't have this issue of crypto-Nazism anyway. It doesn't really exist as far as I can see. Which, you know, leftists might call me naive on that point, but really, every time that they try and say this is a crypto-Nazi, it turns out not to be true. So at this point I can just conclude, well, If you keep going on these witch hunts and finding no witches, that kind of implies to me that maybe witches don't exist. That's kind of the position I'm at now. Anyway, Mike Stockbury, who once worked with BBC's Panorama and Hope Not Hate, who apparently now lives in Germany, but anyway, was an ex-teacher, tried to get his Billy Big Boots on and say, I studied Nazis at university, taught the history of Nazi Germany on 2 continents, and wrote for major newspapers about Nazi Germany. I am internet famous for fact-checking chuds on the internet, ideology and policing of Nazi Germany. That was a Nazi salute. Again, Mike Stockbury at every opportunity proving that he actually has no interest in telling the truth on any aspect of anything, which is a very bad reputation to have when apparently your whole persona is supposed to be, I tell the truth about Nazis. Well, no, apparently you lie about people who aren't Nazis and call them Nazis, which ironically undermines the whole let's not have another Holocaust or Nazi state thing. Anyway, Owen Jones tried to get in on this as well by saying this honestly could not look more like a Nazi salute, and I will say, to be absolutely fair to Owen Jones, he's not directly calling him a Nazi, and he is saying that it just looks like a bit of a faux pas. But still, the obvious implication here is that while he is saying it's a faux pas, he is basically saying he's a crypto-Nazi at the same time. This is plausible deniability if this ever goes to a defamation court case. I didn't call him a Nazi, you see, I just heavily implied it. Other people probably won't get away with it. Anyway, BBC Newsnight had a inauguration special, because why wouldn't they?
Newspapers in Israel are reporting that it appeared that he made a Nazi salute. Have a look.
Thank you.
As you can see, once again, they are cutting out the very important bit of context that comes after that I've still not addressed properly yet, because frankly at this point I just don't think I need to. Even the gesture alone, as far as I can see, is fine. And, well, the former international editor of Newsnight and current BBC journalist Gabriel Gatehouse, he had this to say about the my heart goes out to you gesture.
I mean, it was a Roman greeting, perhaps? I mean, this is precisely the kind of thing that the Trump campaign has been doing since 2016.
Yeah, according to a BBC journalist, the Trump team, they're crypto-fascists, they're crypto-Nazis, didn't you know? Once again, anyone tells you that the BBC has a right-wing bias, again, this man was a former editor of Newsnight, and is still currently serving with the BBC as a journalist, and again, I am constantly being told that they have a right-wing bias, and I don't know what the hell they look at to say this. The main thing they point to is, well, Nigel Farage is invited on a lot. Yeah, I'm not surprised the man who basically forced Brexit, the biggest British political movement that we have seen in the 20th century, is invited on a lot to the BBC, who are supposed to be reporting impartially. Yeah, while the rest of the time, literally for the rest of the year, they have a load of Remainers on them. Don't try and make the case for Brexit. Anyway, you get the point here. But don't worry, he has more to say.
Which is to do something with a nod and a wink that some people will read exactly what they want to read into it.
So you believe that was deliberate?
Plausibly deniable.
Right.
I don't know what Elon Musk is thinking.
I love it. The whole time he's saying, yeah, I think he deliberately did this as a kind of dog whistle to people. And then when directly asked, oh, so you think he did this deliberately? Well, it's plausible deniability, but really I don't know what Elon Musk is thinking. I have no idea if what I've just said is true or not. But he won't correct himself. That is the most charitable he will be. I don't know what Elon Musk was thinking. Yeah, true, none of us do. Do you really think the man who is rabidly pro-Israel is a Nazi? You know, are we seriously on this point in time where we are so split from the Holocaust and the Nazis that being pro-Jew might still mean you're a Nazi? Come on. Come off it.
But it is a typical Trump move, Trump campaign move, something that's plausibly deniable and that is going to drive the libs crazy.
Well, that's a cell phone if I've ever seen it. Oh, this is just plausible deniability of him being a Nazi. It's going to drive the libs crazy. Yeah, you're playing into that by literally calling it or implying that it's crypto-Nazism. You are literally playing in to that plan if that's what they're trying to do, but it's not what they're trying to do. You're just all idiots.
That's exactly what we're doing here, right? This is exactly what's happening. It's getting everyone to go, oh my God, and then people go, oh, wasn't that what you're talking about?
Somehow he thinks he is above that type of reaction that he is describing, but no, he is still playing into that reaction. Just because he's not screaming about it doesn't mean that he's not playing a part in getting people to scream about it. What do you think? Do you think it was a Nazi salute? No, I think he was sending his heart out to people. Why did you cut out the rest of the clip? You
know, chill out. So it's a triggering kind of thing. Remember when Hillary Clinton went mad about a cartoon frog? Same thing.
Do you remember when Hillary Clinton went mad about a cartoon frog? They don't even remember Pepe's name anymore. Poor Pepe. But my God, I still can't believe that that frog had Nazi connotations when everybody was using it. It's still used on Hassan Piker's thing. Pepe only really started being used by Nazis when idiots like this started saying, oh, you see, they're just trying to get us to react. And then they'd react to it, as he's reacting to this now. So well done. You probably have just made the Nazi salute quite popular because you actually get annoyed at it. Don't do Nazi salutes, by the way. It's stupid. And that is absolutely not what Elon Musk was doing, as I keep going through. I mean, other mainstream sources were also throwing out the ridiculous story. Here's the Times, who had a article full of pictures from the day, and their caption is, Elon Musk gives a salute while speaking to the crowd during a rally. I mean, this is the worst bad faith picture that I have seen of it. Obviously it looks bad, he's got his arm outstretched. But my god, what was in the whole clip? Well, luckily we have some sensible anons on Twitter who are willing to actually play defence for Trump and Musk, because this is obviously the libs going back into 2014 mode, which, by the way, we are a decade on from, and if they've still not learned these lessons, then yeah, from my point of view, Reform are definitely going to win the next election. So here is the full clip without anyone talking over him.
My heart goes out to you.
Boom. As I said when I originally saw the clip, oh, he's just throwing his heart out to the people. Yeah, and then he literally says, my heart goes out to you. Here's PSA Sitch pointing out that before everyone loses their minds, Elon did not in fact Nazi salute. He says, my heart goes out to you. A classic dishonest rapport edit, who obviously this is one of the edits that got popular and is now all over the mainstream news, to stop the clip right before. People should really know by now, and I completely agree. I don't think that the guy who got the big dust-up about H-1B visas and said MAGA has to rip out all racists, root and stem, has switched to becoming a Nazi. Absolutely. And as I say, he's pro-Israel as well. There's no way that he turned to being a Nazi within a week. Oh, he's just really good at hiding it. Again, if you are a Nazi, typically you tell people. That is how they act for some reason. They are very bad at being crypto-Nazis. It's basically impossible for them because they can't help but go on about how much they hate Jews. I have been talking to them for too long to have any other opinion on them. Obviously, from this I can conclude that yes, Elon Musk did not Nazi salute, as PSA Sitch says. Who again, PSA Sitch is a Jew, so I'm going to trust him. But do you know who I'm going to trust even more on their opinion on this? Amazingly, the ADL. This is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute, but again we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even a benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. It's a new beginning, let's hope for healing and work towards unity in the months and years ahead. Even the ADL, who are known for being relatively dishonest when it comes to calling other people anti-Semitic, even they're saying, can you calm down and stop being idiots? In the most I don't want to be attacked by the libs way that I could imagine. Even the ADL are saying, stop being idiots. My goodness. Anyway, let's end this video with some funny tweets that I noticed. This is some guy on Twitter who said, I'd rather not entrust space travel to a guy who does a Nazi salute. I pray that this guy never finds out what Operation Paperclip was, because my god, he is going to have a hell of an awakening that day. And the final interaction I'll go through starts with Konstantin Kissin, who says, I think it's cute that the media still think they have the power to make another hoax go viral, but it's 2025 and so we're done with this nonsense. Totally fine take, it's the reply from Britisher that gets me. And I'm not being funny, but this reply was so long that it doesn't even fit in one single screenshot. So I'll put as much of it as I can, but I'm not reading the whole thing, it's just ridiculous. What does it take, Mr. Kissin? He performed it on stage in front of a crowd on camera. But it's a hoax, so say so. How much would it take? The full Nazi uniform, the little moustache? I think he's presently laughing his head off, and he's performed 2 such salutes, and here's an army of people explaining it away for him on his platform. It's almost a social experiment. And he goes off on one. Because you've actually seen it happen, yet you seem to doubt the content of what you saw. Again, just a few notes on this already. I'm going to skip to the end after this. Britisher, one, you are outright here saying that Elon Musk is a Nazi. And I just want to point out you have the blue tick. So you're happy to give a Nazi money as far as I'm concerned. Every month you give him a standing order to write this massive wall of total nonsense. Again, the point isn't that he didn't do the gesture. That is not what is being said. The point is that in context of him saying, I give my heart to you, he is taking his heart and throwing it out. However, in doing so and extending his arm, idiots are saying that this is a Nazi salute. And here you are saying, oh, here he is doing a Nazi salute and you are explaining it away. As if there's nothing reasonable to explain away here. As I say, even before I saw the whole clip, I knew that he was throwing his heart out to people. It was obvious. That's why he went, ugh, on the chest and then threw out his arm to throw his heart out to them. That was obvious to me. But people are just happy to talk absolute nonsense about it. Anyway, he goes on to keep asking, where's the line drawn, where's the line drawn? Let's just skip to the end. Again, what would it actually take? Performing a double salute. Oh, he did it twice, you know. Then adding my heart goes out to you is not enough, it seems. Why would it be? Again, it's not a Nazi salute. Even the ADL don't think so. And I think everything's Nazi. I'll make it clear, it was enough for me. And yet you still give him money, British. I just want to point that out. He either has a good explanation, else I'll judge him by his deeds, which in the case of fascist salutes on stage at the moment of triumph in front of a delirious crowd. Okay? I see no reason to make excuses for him. It's not even excuses. We're just telling the truth. He either has good reasons, and they better be bloody good, or he's as guilty as sin. Because it's there for all to see. This isn't partisanship, it's plain observation of reality. Well, once again, British, I don't think you seriously think he's a Nazi. Otherwise, you would not be paying him, is it a tenner a month at this point, to write this asinine biblical passage about him. I still like Britisher, by the way, but this has to be one of the worst things I've ever seen from him. It's an absolute claptrap of nonsense. This, by the way, Britisher, is Guardian-level argumentation. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway, Kissing responds to this in possibly the best way I've ever seen, saying, I'm definitely not going to read all that, but if you think an Aspie guy doing an awkward gesture to say my heart goes out to you is a Nazi salute because the media, which has created endless hoaxes like fine people on both sides, told you so, you may need to consider how clearly you're seeing this. Which is just absolutely true, and I'm with Kissing here that this is a test to see if people are really seeing the situation clearly or not. You know, effectively this is a test. Do you have TDS or MDS with muscle derangement syndrome, or are you actually going to bother trying to look at these events clearly and try and actually discern what is truth and what is not? At least from a left-wing perspective. Obviously the right-wing have all these issues with not seeing things clearly as well. And yet there will be mental righties who are saying that he's doing nothing wrong, but they just happen to be right in this case, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as I say, just a very, very odd but frankly quite funny interaction involving the Britisher, who, as I say, generally I still like, but this was a very, very odd interaction, and I kind of can't believe he wrote a whole paragraph that would be that wrong. I always basically thought that he was frankly better than that. But, well, anyway, you get the idea. Musk did not throw a Nazi salute. Why did he do it? Because, as Christian says, he's a little bit aspy and he wanted to throw his heart out to people. What was the best way to do that? Extend your arm. How else do you throw things out? If anyone thinks that would be a salute good enough for the Nazis, they are having an absolute laugh with themselves. If you think the MAGA movement is absolutely chock full of Nazis, I don't know what to tell you. That's Nick Fuentz's area of the internet. Until Trump was actually put in, he was not for Trump. He wasn't good enough for him, as nothing's ever good enough for the Nazis or Groypers or whatever they call themselves these days. They're a fringe group. When people understand who they are, nobody likes them, especially not the mainstream right, because they are very good at kicking out their extremists. And, well, we finally seem to be going through an actual vibe shift or political revolution. ADL coming out and saying, don't be stupid, this obviously wasn't a Nazi salute. I can't tell you how much of a white pill that is. Well done, America. You seem to be on a pretty good track. Lord, I have seen what you have done for others, and I wish that you would treat me that way too. Well, our time will come in 4 or 5 years, I would imagine, so we'll look forward to that. Until then, though, that's everything I had for you for today. So, in terms of shilling, I've already said it in the last video, but not everyone watches all my videos. Tonight, it is Tosh Talks. We are going through the Lotus Eaters' takes on Nigel Farage because they are very tismy and they need to have their head be given a wobble. Next Monday, it is the Antiquity stream, or the return of the Antiquity stream. We're still going through the Peloponnesian Wars by Jack over on the Worcester Club, all this, by the way, so go do subscribe over there and join the Discord down below. Tuesday, it's Tosh News. It's the newscast. You know what that's all about. We get a panel and we talk about the news. Do come along to it. Next, I believe it's going to be Friday, but it's subject to change. It'll be Laughing at the Guardian again, so do come along to that too. Videos out as and when I can make them. If you want to support the channel, you can do it for free by subscribing, leaving a comment about what you think. Is Brister an idiot or not? So that's up for you to decide and tell me in the comments. Leave a like as well. These are all things that help with the algorithm. If you want to help me much more directly, and if you have the funds, you can always become a member starting from £2 a month, or give me a super chat or super thanks on comment sections and in live stream chats. Those are very direct ways to help, and I do appreciate every single one of them. For now though, as I said, that's everything I had for you for today, so once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.